Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to SUSECON. My name is Mike Dillio. I'm the product marketing manager for SUSE Enterprise Storage, and I'm here with two of my esteemed colleagues. We're going to talk a little bit about storage, market trends, and things that are happening, and specifically around SUSE Enterprise Storage. So let me go ahead and introduce to my left here is Larry Morris,
Morning. How are you?
and to my right is Sanjeet Singh.
Hi everybody, it's Sanjeet here.
So we're just going to take a few minutes and ask these guys some questions and get their feedback on, like I said, market trends around storage. So Larry, let me start with you. What trends do you see impacting the storage market?
Okay. Good question. So you really can't start talking about trends in the storage market without first acknowledging the exponential growth of data. Many are already familiar with the industry analyst firm IDC's most recent prediction of 175 zettabytes by the year 2025. That's 10 times the amount of information that exists today. Much of this information is going to be created by businesses, and businesses are going to need to make strategic decisions about how they store, how they manage, and how they utilize this massive amount of new information. So I think three trends come to mind. So the first of those is software-defined storage. The growth of software-defined storage is driven by the sticker shock, if you will, that results when an IT organization attempts to utilize the traditional storage they've been using for years to store this exponential data. And software-defined storage is built on industry-standard hardware, and as a result of that, it fundamentally changes the cost of your storage solution. And you can deploy software-defined storage on-premise, you can deploy it using public cloud storage, or you can deploy it with a combination of the two. So that would be the first trend, would be software-defined storage. The second trend I would identify is the emergence of converged or hyper-converged architectures. So these systems attempt to address the challenges faced with an IT organization through the silos that sometimes form around compute or storage or networking. And what they do is they use a cluster of industry standard servers and they reallocate the resources to either increase compute workload or networking bandwidth or even storage processing, depending upon the application or the use case that's executing at that time. And the third trend I would identify is called AI Ops. AI Ops brings the intelligence of machine learning or artificial intelligence and applies it to the challenges faced by an IT organization. So if I'm deploying a massive system into the tens of petabytes, I need a system that's far more autonomous, far more intelligent than what I have today to enable me to manage that capacity without significantly increasing my human capital. So those would be the three trends I would identify, Mike.
Great, thank you, Larry. Wow, 175 zettabytes. How much data really is that? So, Sanjeet, I've got a question for you. How do you see customers addressing the data explosion trend?
I think one of the key things that has happened recently is the fact that customers are rethinking the way they develop and design their storage architectures. They have pretty much started harnessing the power of data, analyzing it in real time, something which was simply not possible even up to a few years ago. So they have migrated away and started transitioning to these massively scalable architectures, off-premise as well as on-premise, including into the cloud. This infrastructure migration journey that has started has created massive data centers with significant amount of storage that is built around them. And then finally, when you have such scalable architectures, you need intelligent storage that can manage itself very well. And that's what Larry touched upon, AI Ops, which is emerging as one of the new places where storage is headed towards. AI Ops basically means storage that is intelligent, that can manage itself. At the scales we are talking, you cannot have administrators manage storage themselves. It has to be managed by the system itself. And that's some of the newer architectures that are emerging are intelligent that can self-manage.
Great. Thanks, Sanjeet. Really appreciate that. Larry, I'm going to come back to you with another question. If someone is not using software-defined storage today, what is a natural use case to bring that into their environment?
Good question, Mike. So two use cases come to mind. So the first of those would be as a target for a disk-to-disk backup solution. Most IT organizations are already using probably a traditional proprietary disk array or set of disk arrays as the target for that backup. So when it comes time to do that technology refresh, instead of purchasing another version of the same storage you've been using for perhaps even decades, look at deploying software-defined storage into that infrastructure, and it gives you then the opportunity to become more familiar with that technology. You can do all the same things you do with your traditional disk arrays when you do use them for the disk-to-disk backup. You can copy it to external cloud, you can copy it to tape, but you've also got an additional advantage, and that is the capabilities of software-defined storage enable you to create different pools, if you will, within the storage infrastructure that have different performance and cost characteristics. So I can use the relatively high-capacity, low-cost traditional spinning media and use erasure coding, which is very efficient in its ability to create replication and actually create an online archive. And so within that same storage system, then I can migrate the data to the online archive. And of course, having that behind my firewall inside my data center helps address any concerns I have with data security. Plus it's online, which gives me the ability to access that information very, very quickly if I need to. So the two use cases I would recommend would be as a target for disk-to-disk backup or as an online archive. Okay.
Great, thank you, Larry. So Sanjeet, now we've got software-defined storage into our customers' environment. Can you tell us about some of the use cases and how our solutions are being used today?
As I touched upon the fact that customers have started deploying real-time information, they're analyzing the information real-time, that has led to the model of creation of data lakes. Data lake is your scalable storage platform which feeds into some of these real-time analytics solutions. So the advantage that customers get when they do something like that is that instead of having to create multiple copies and silos of the same data sometimes, they can just have a large, single scalable storage architecture which feeds off these various analytic solutions around them. For example, one of our larger customers, they have 40 plus petabytes of data stored in their data lake solution. It is feeding into real-time IoT pipelines. It is extracting and analyzing the data for real-time decision making that is being used by a number of universities that this customer is servicing. Another example that has recently started emerging is persistent storage for their containers applications. As containerization has started becoming the norm in our customer environments, they are moving away from these traditional monolithic architectures to the new software-defined data centers that are agile, application-oriented solutions. What they have started doing is deploying storage in support of these containers. What this has allowed them to do is become agile, to be able to meet the requirements of their developers in a very fast manner. Plus, the other thing that's happened is that with the emergence of public cloud, they are able to connect their private and public cloud to create a fully end-to-end hybrid cloud solution in an agile manner again. So these are some of the new emerging use cases that we see that are becoming more popular amongst our customer base, and that's how they're using our storage for at this point.
Great, thanks Sanjeet, appreciate that. The data explosion is real. CIOs and CTOs are feeling it today. So Larry, final question. What advice would you give CIOs and CTOs today?
Great question. So I think 4 suggestions come to mind. So first, if they're not experiencing the explosive growth of data today, they soon will be. And if they're not working on a data tiering strategy, they need to start working on one as soon as possible. They can't afford to treat all of their information the same. The second recommendation is look for a use case, such as a target for disk-to-disk backup or online archive, to start to bring the software-defined storage capabilities into their organization and begin to become familiar with that technology. And third, as they bring that technology into their IT organization, let it help them as they begin the transformation to a software-defined infrastructure. We like to refer to software-defined storage as the bridge that enables you to make that transformation. And the fourth point would be as they deploy that software-defined infrastructure and look at the opportunities that it enables around agility or flexibility, it will significantly enhance their ability to adopt new methodologies, like the ability to have either hybrid cloud or multi-cloud, and bring new technologies to market much more rapidly, such as containerization. So those would be the 4 recommendations I would have for CTOs or CIOs today.
Okay, great. Thanks, Larry. Well, I'd like to thank both of you for stopping by and spending a few minutes with me today. We're going to be here all week along with a lot of other storage experts from SUSE. So if you see us walking around, please feel free to stop by and ask us questions. Come by the storage kiosk in the technology showcase, and please do sign up for the storage sessions that are going to be going on all week. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.